What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I really think the Orlando Magic could surprise a lot of people this coming NBA season. I think, people are kind of sleeping on them a little bit. This could definitely be a team that's fighting its way into the upper top portion of the play-in tournament. I'm going to break down why. Before I do, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But let's get into the Magic. I got two questions for you guys. What are your expectations for the Orlando Magic this coming season? And who are you most excited to watch? I think there's 4 or 5 guys potentially on this team that could really excite you. Obviously Paolo, Franz, Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Anthony Black. The list goes on. Markelle Fultz. A lot of different guys. Let me know in the comments who you're most excited to watch this season. So we'll start with the offseason. Something that they really kind of seem to just go with is that they just kind of embrace the youth movement. They didn't really go out and try and make splash moves. Sure, you brought in a Joe Ingles and kind of, just trimmed around the edges a little bit, brought some veteran presence in. Drafted Anthony Black, who I thought was a really, really good pick. Looked really, really fun in Summer League. I'm super excited to see how his career pans out. So they kind of just were like, we're going to bank on our young guys growing. We're expecting a year 2 leap from Paolo, a year 3 leap from Franz, and, a leap from Wendell Carter Jr., and then maybe we get something more from Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony. Maybe we get something from those guys. So they're really embracing it, and they're going to let a young team be young, and that's cool. I like that. Large part why I kind of like it is at the end of last season, really not even the end of last season, the last 57 games of the regular season, they were above 500. I think they were 29-28 overall. And no, that's not world-breaking NBA Finals name, anything like that. But they were a plus 500 team, which puts you right in that upper echelon of the play-in, 6, 7 seed, kind of right in there. So if you're able to do that and continue doing that, this is a 57-game sample size. That's a big sample size. And now you're getting growth from a rookie of the year, Paolo Banchero, going to year 2. You got Franz getting some growth. They got the experience. Things like that really matter for young teams. And I think something that we saw over those, 57 games to finish the season was they kind of started to figure out how to win close games, how to win the tough ones. They kind of figured out how to win as a team and play together and really solve the problem that a lot of young teams struggle with, and that's finishing games, closing out. A lot of young teams can keep a game close through 3 quarters and then fall apart in the 4th. That's where the experience and, just being a professional comes into play. And the Magic kind of started to figure that out to finish the season last year. So there's really 4 players that I'm super excited for this season. We're going to start with the rookie, right? We're going to start with Anthony Black because I think was a piece that this team is missing. He's a big point guard that likes to create for others, rebounds the ball, can defend. So you got that coming in. That's something that he didn't really have. Markelle Fultz can do that to an extent, but Anthony Black's a young, 19-year-old kid that's full of energy, very, very highlight reel-esque kind of player. I think he's going to be really, really helpful for setting up Paolo, making life easier, and setting up Franz and making life easier. So taking a little bit of pressure off of those guys, I think that's going to be really fun to watch unfold as his rookie season goes along. But ultimately for this team to really take a jump, it's going to be on Paolo Banchero. He had one of the best rookie seasons of all time, about 20 points, almost 7 rebounds, almost 4 assists. I think he shot under 30% overall from 3, but I think it was the last 17 games or so, and yes, that's only a 17-game sample size, but it's a sample size nonetheless. He was 38% from 3. So that's a good, that was to finish the season. That's a good trend to finish your rookie year going into your summer, and then going into year 2, kind of showed some progress from 3. Because that's really going to be the biggest thing for him is can he become a respectable three-point shooter? And ultimately, I think he becomes a 35%, maybe 36 on it if he has a really, really good year from 3 in year 2. If he does that, I'm no doubt in my opinion, even if he doesn't even do that now I think about it, he can be a 25-point per game scorer this year. Easily, I could see him 25, 8, and 4. Paolo Banchero is a dog. And I think he had one of the most kind of slept-on rookie seasons. Yes, he won Rookie of the Year, deservedly, but he didn't really hear a lot about him, but he was really good. He had 40 20-point games. You know who else had 40 20-plus point games as a rookie? LeBron James. And no, I'm not comparing Paolo Banchero to LeBron James, but I think that just speaks volumes to how good Paolo was as a rookie. So expect a massive leap from Paolo Banchero. He likes to let his game do the talking, and I think we're going to see a lot of that this year. Franz Wagner, though, because he's really the number 2 option on this team, and I really hope this season he hunts his shot a little bit more, gets more aggressive to getting the ball, because I think he can very easily be a 20-plus point per game scorer. It was almost 19 per game last year, but I want to see him take more shots. I want to see him look for his shot more. He could easily be a guy that's a 21, 22 point per game, get 6, 7 rebounds and get me 4 assists. Like, he could easily do that on good efficiency. He shoots the three pretty well. So I expect a big jump out of him, and I think you're going to see a lot of that due in large part to Anthony Black setting him up a little bit. I think that you're going to see that kind of take place as the season goes along. Franz looks like he might benefit a lot from having a point guard that's looking for him. I think the third option on this team is probably Wendell Carter Jr. And, he's a 15-8, 15-10 kind of center. I think he's really, really underrated because, he was the main piece in that Nikola Vucevic trade. And honestly, I would take Wendell Carter Jr. over Nikola Vucevic each of the last couple of years. I think he's been better overall. I think he's a better defender. I think he's a really good passer. He's a really good rebounder, has a good post game. Like, Wendell Carter Jr. He's a really, really fine center. I think he's slept on. I think he's really slept on. There's an argument for him somewhere in that top 7 or 8, I think, in centers. And that's really quality. I think he got a really good big man in Wendell Carter Jr. And I'm very excited to see him with another year of experience with Anthony Black coming into the fold. Like, this team looks like it could be so much fun. And I'm so, energized about him. And Wendell Carter Jr. is a big reason why. Could easily see Wendell becoming like a 16, 17 point per game scorer. He's got a respectable three-pointer. So I'm not going to be surprised when he has a really, really good year again this year. But as you guys know, it's not about four or five guys on the team. If you want to be a solid team, you got to have some depth, got to have some pieces behind the starters. And they kind of got a nice little blend of, vets, rookies, young guys that have a couple years experience. You got your guys like vets. You have like Joe Ingles, Gary Harris, who are both, Ingles, very good passer, very good three-point shooter, excellent veteran presence, has been in big games, has closed out big games. Gary Harris, awesome defender, 43% from three. Like, he can fill in the cracks very, very nicely. Then you have your rookies like Jet Howard, who, we could see what he becomes. Looks like he could be a pretty good shooter as a rookie, so maybe provide some value that way. He's a kind of a bigger forward, so I think he kind of can play some spot minutes there. And then you have Mo Wagner, who's like a pest, and he's like an annoyance. A lot of players hate playing against Mo Wagner. He's a trash talker, but he's a pretty solid defender, can space the floor. Just a good backup center. I like Mo. There's other guys like a Markelle Fultz that I talked about. And Markelle Fultz really came on last year. He had like 15, 6, and 4 or whatever his statistical line was. But you could see him really start to gain his confidence and show that like there was a reason I got picked super high. And he's kind of starting to find himself in Orlando. He could very well start this year. They could run Anthony Black at the 2 because ultimately Markelle Fultz and Anthony Black are both 6'5", 6'6", like big guards. So they can play either 1 or 2. And I think that provides a little bit of flexibility. And I think it's valuable because I think you're going to get them playing off ball a little bit, getting them on ball. Kind of makes it really hard to game plan for. I think it's going to be between 2 guys for probably the last like actual rotation spot. And I honestly, I don't know who's going to get it, but I haven't mentioned Cole Anthony or Jalen Suggs yet. I think Jalen Suggs will probably get more opportunity than Cole just because he was a higher pick. They got a little bit more invested in him. But those 2 could be very good NBA players. Cole has kind of proven a little bit that he's pretty solid. Jalen Suggs hasn't proven himself yet, but I think this could be a year where he starts to prove that he was a solid pick or, proves that he can be a valuable NBA player. Ultimately, I just expect a big year 2 jump from Paolo. I think he could be one of the premier players in the league. There's a reason he went number 1 overall, and there's a reason he was Rookie of the Year. There's a reason he did a lot of things that no other rookie really has done in a long time. So I think Paolo could be one of the more trending superstars coming right out into year 2. Could be a lot of fun this year. Franz could be even better. They got Anthony Black, who looks super intriguing. Markelle Fultz, Wendell Carter Jr. Like, they got a lot of really, really nice pieces on here, and they finished last year solid. So that gives me a lot of confidence that they're going to be able to keep that rolling, push it into this year, and be a solid team. I'm not going to make crazy expectations for them. I think being the 7th seed in the play-in tournament, that's a realistic goal for them. That's my pick. The guy I'm most excited to watch is Paolo Banchero. Just straight up, he's going to be so good as his career goes. Really excited to see how he explodes this year. I think the second guy I'm probably most excited for is probably Anthony Black, just because he's very, very tantalizing as a rookie. The size, the passing, the rebounding, the ability just seems to be there. So excited for that. But let me know in the comments who you're most excited for. What's your expectations for the Orlando Magic this season? I think it's going to be a lot of fun this year, kind of getting out of that cellar that they've been in the last few years. And it's going to be a lot of fun for Magic fans. So they're going to have a lot of fun games. Really excited for them. I'm going to predict the 7 seed for them. I think that they can pull that off. And I think you're going to see a big jump out of a couple players on this team. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But look out for the Magic. Could be a lot of fun this year. Thanks for watching. I'm done. Peace.